Should we skip this until your dad arrives? Be serious. Go to spring. Set Eleanor Rigby aside. Got that. No, this is it. This is the show. No, the people. I got you. Are you communicating with an adult on your telex? Can we find out why our lights are darker than the rest of the gym? Thank you. Yeah. All right, spring.
No, they don't know.
trying somebody else for legs. Crash it on here. Common dates.
This evening, we celebrate success. These young people are our athletes, our musicians, our actors, our leaders, our community volunteers, but they are also our scholars. Tonight, we've come together to honor them for all the facets of their high school life. As parents and relatives of National Honor Society members, you should be exceedingly proud of these young adults and all of their accomplishments. I know that we are. At this time, we will begin the processional of our honorees. Honorees, I ask that you remain standing upon reaching your seat. Thank you to our chamber orchestra. I truly appreciate your musical addition to tonight's ceremony. You are dismissed at this time. As the orchestra quietly dismisses, there are a few important program notes. First of all, I would ask that at this time you please check and make sure that your cell phone is turned off. In the case of an emergency, please note that there are exits at both sides of the gymnasium. And finally, tonight's ceremony will be airing live on BSTN on their YouTube station. I would ask our inductees to please stand. And at this time, I invite Alana Hetzel forward to deliver our invocation.
O God, by your love, strengthen all who are here. Bless this gathering and guide us to grow in peace. Thank you for all the gifts you have bestowed upon us. and help us to use them as examples to others. Amen.
Thank you, Alana. At this time, I invite Mary Beth Schobel to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may all be seated. The National Honor Society was established by the National Association of Secondary School Principals in 1921. At their annual convention, principals discussed how schools might recognize academic achievement while at the same time develop other characteristics deemed essential to a democratic society. After much discussion, the objectives of the National Honor Society were formulated. Those objectives are to create enthusiasm for scholarship, to stimulate desire to render service, to promote worthy leadership, and to encourage the development of character. That convention marked the beginning of the National Honor Society. Scholarship, character, service, and leadership are core principles that are timeless. Tonight, these students are being honored, excuse me, for striving always to be above things in a difficult world, and to demonstrate these core principles and values that you, their parents, and we, their educators, have tried our very best to nurture in them. Again, these principles are the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society. Mr. Jadu, would you please present the inductee roster?
It is my honor to present the names of these 64 seniors for the installation of the National Honor Society.
Thank you, Mr. Jadu. At this time, would all of these newly elected members please stand? I now call inductee leader, Miss Ann Bott, to the lectern.
You have been selected for a very high honor by those who know you and your many accomplishments. Admission to this organization is the greatest honor that can come to a high school student because it stands for excellence of achievement in 4 pillars. Scholarship alone will not admit a student to the National Honor Society. To scholarship must be added character. To character must be added service. To service must be added leadership. At this time, I'd like to call Mr. Jadu to the lectern to discuss the keystone.
The emblem of the National Honor Society is a keystone with a flaming torch superimposed on it. The keystone has for ages been a symbol of strength and perfection because it fits perfectly into the top of the arc and holds the structure together for eternity. The flaming torch symbolizes the light of knowledge. At the base of the keystone and on either side of the torch are the letters of the 4 pillars: character, service, leadership, and scholarship. At this time, I invite Mr. Sheehan to the lectern to deliver the oath to the inductees.
You have heard the aims and ideas of the National Honor Society. Are you ready to take the pledge? If so, please say, I am. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I pledge myself to uphold the high purpose of this society, to make its ideals the ideals of my school and my life. You may be seated. At this time, we will have the faculty begin the candle speeches. Getting us started will be Mrs. Nord.
I'm so honored to be able to speak to this memorable group of seniors about scholarship. The truth is, I think this group is already extremely well-versed in scholarship. Many of you have a natural curiosity and an intrinsic love of learning. In fact, I've witnessed numerous students in this class study and research a topic of personal interest miles beyond what has been assigned to you. Whether it be a deep concern for the environment, a fascination with how engines work, a desire to plan an economically feasible trip with friends, or a yearning for a deeper understanding of music, many members of this class pursue knowledge far outside of the doors of BHS and far beyond the bell at the end of the day. You clearly know how to study, and you've proven yourself as admirable scholars. My advice to you would be to extrapolate your skill and apply it to studying the people that you encounter. Become an expert at observing other people. Study those who you admire and emulate the positive qualities that make them worthy of your admiration. Likewise, study the unattractive qualities in those who lack ethics and integrity. Then you will avoid cultivating those traits. Undoubtedly, you will continue to excel in scholarship. Remember that scholarship does not have to be confined to what is assigned to you. You can and should create your own independent studies to continue to discover what brings you meaning and purpose throughout your journey. I will leave you with a quote from Sarah Chapman. Learn everything you can, anytime you can, from anyone you can. There will always come a time when you will be grateful you did. I will now hand over to Mrs. Mansour.
This candle represents character. Take its light from out. Character is defined as the set of qualities that makes a person different from others. If you're asked to describe a person, you might often think about their hair color or their eye color, how tall they are. But if you're asked to describe a person's character, you might list qualities such as their kindness, their reliability, their trustworthiness, their honesty. These qualities are sometimes harder to see in people or less obvious in the outwardly way. The problem with defining a person's character is that you have to look beyond those obvious traits and look in between. It's in those in-between moments that we find these examples of a person's character. We can easily say somebody is a great athlete because we can measure the number of passes that they catch or baskets that they make. But are they a good teammate? This is what defines their character. We can easily say that a person is a good student because they have all A's or they have a 4.0. But are they a good classmate? Again, these are the items that will define character. Oftentimes when I tell people I'm a high school math teacher, the first reaction that I get is, ugh, I hated math in high school. I get it. But the second thing I normally get asked or have people say to me is that I wouldn't want to teach high school. I don't know how you can work with high school students. And I say the exact opposite. Yes, They can be moody at times, but can't we all? High school is the time where you have the opportunity to put all of those life lessons, those character traits that have been instilled to you through your parents, through your earlier educators, through your friends, and get a chance to put those into action. I think that I can speak for many of your teachers when I say that we may not always get a chance to acknowledge how proud we are of all of those little things that we do, but we see you. We see you showing up to practice early and staying late. We see you helping mentor younger athletes to help them hone themselves and be the best version that they can be. We see you in the classroom working and doing your homework when it could easily be a chance to socialize with friends. We see you in the hallways helping people pick up items that they've dropped when you could have easily just chosen to walk by. We see you hold the door open for others, teachers, students, to pass through when you could have easily let it close. And we see you offering kind words to classmates so that they stay encouraged. It's the kind things that you do when no one is looking, the encouraging words that you say when no one is there to pat you on the back, the things that you give up for someone when you get nothing in return, the caring thoughts that you give when no one will hear them but you. These are the defining moments of a person's character. Sometimes the world may praise you if they get the chance to see them, but the real you is what's underneath. It is those small moments that I get to witness every day. Why I say high school is the best group of students to teach. I will also leave you with a quote, and actually I remember learning this quote in high school. Not sure where I got it or why I came up with it, where I heard it, but I thought it spoke well to the definition of character. And I actually only just recently learned, when I looked it up for the speech, who it was credited to. So it was credited to Alexander Hamilton. It says, "Stand for something, or you will fall for anything." It's easy to say that you believe in something, but actions speak louder than words. The old adage stands true. So find something that you believe in, defend it greatly, and that will be the greatest definition of your character. I'm going to now call to the lectern Mrs. Anzavino.
All right, good evening. My name is Mrs. Anzavino, and I'm a teacher, of course, here at Boardman High School. Like others before me, I am very privileged to speak to this group in particular. I've had the honor of being their teacher, many of them, if not all. For some of them, I've been their coach and developed great relationships with them. One of them I even live with, so that's pretty cool. Of the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society, service is the most selfless and noble. Service is what each and every member of this organization is pledging to do going forward after this evening, and what each is being recognized for tonight for having already accomplished in meaningful ways. I'd like to share a few thoughts on the meaning of service with you all tonight. Selflessness is the most noble character trait, and service requires us to deny our own needs to think of others. When we put others before ourselves, in our community above our own considerations, we are stronger. A willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without compensation or recognition is what makes our tomorrows brighter and what makes humanity strong. I can think of no other American more devoted to service than the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We tend to put those in history either on pedestals or in cages. We often think of the villains of history as monsters and the heroes as, well, superheroes. We see them as greater than ourselves, and just like we think that we are not capable of being like the villains, we should also often remember that we think that we are not capable of being the hero. Well, this is fair, but it is also flawed. We are capable of being the villain, as history has shown. It's easy to be selfish, dishonest, hateful. Showing honesty, integrity, love, and selflessness is also easy. We are most capable of being the hero, And it is not at all difficult, and nor is it impossible. Now, Dr. King said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? We all know what service meant to him. He was arrested 28 times from 1956 to 1965. He was willing to give up his freedom to raise awareness of the racial injustices in the United States. Think of this, though. His actions alone would not have changed the hearts and minds of countless Americans. And had he not been joined by thousands of other ordinary and brave Americans, his movement would not have probably put into action what it did. And so it was not just his action, it was the action of those who followed him and served in invisible ways. Service, whether it's holding the door for someone, helping someone with an overwhelming task, or leading a social justice movement, it's all worthwhile. Every small act of kindness and extra deed makes this world better. So my advice to you, challenge yourself right now. Think of the needs of others, and you will immediately know how you can serve your community. Do something not asked of you, and simply for no other reason than that you can. Do this tonight and for the rest of your life, because there is no better way to find fulfillment and success in life than by serving others. The last thing I'll leave you with tonight is one more quote from Dr. King. He said, "Every now and then I guess we all think realistically about that day when we will be victimized by life's final common denominator, that something we call death. We all think about it every now and then, and I think about my own death, my own funeral. I wonder what I want them to say." He said, "Tell them not to mention that I have a Nobel Peace Prize. That isn't important. Tell them not to mention I have 300 to 400 awards. That's also not important. Tell them not to mention where I went to school. I'd like somebody to mention that day that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. I'd like for somebody to say that that day Dr. Martin Luther King tried to love somebody." Thank you, and congratulations to you all tonight on your induction. I will introduce Mr. Seipert. He is next to speak.
This candle represents leadership and gives its light from all. I am also very honored to be able to induct all of you this evening, especially speaking about leadership. Leadership isn't necessarily about your title. It's actually about your impact, your influence, and your inspiration of others. It's really easy to fall into line, be one of the sheep, as people would say, but you all have the opportunity. Someone here thinks that you're the best at academics, the arts, or athletics. You should take pride in that and try to influence others, try to impact others, and try to inspire others. The power of positive thinking goes a very, very, very long way in life. And if you're able to do those things, you're definitely going to use your gifts in, again, academics, arts, and athletics in the proper ways. I challenge each of you to lead, especially the last 10 weeks of your academic careers here at Boardman High School. Take some pride in those things and make one more special memory for everybody around you. Okay, so please take that challenge seriously and lead us to the end of this school year. Thank you very much.
Thank you to these teachers for their very wise and kind words. At this time, would our inductees please stand? I call our candlelight speaker, Mr. Sheehan, to the lectern to make brief comments after I have read the first name. Our first inductee is Cora Ames.
Pick up your candle and light the flame of service, character, leadership, and scholarship. None can burn brightly alone. Only when these four virtues have been combined to kindle your candle will it light your way securely along the road that leads to your future.
Elizabeth Amstutz. Ethan Anderson. Theodore Anzavino. Jonah Bacco. Kylie Barnes. Jared Benko. Salvatore Buonamici. Reagan Berkey. Jillian Canachi. Morgan Cherney. Michael Chickalo. Samuel Chickalo. CJ Corden. Elena Cuevas. Gia DiTullio. Isabel Dwyer. Kara Elliser. Kaylee Engelman. Nathan Fleming. McKenna Glaser. Julia Gorby. Yara Habo. Shani Harris. Alana Hetzel. Noah Holdridge. Samuel Holter. Jake Hughes. Jenna Hughes. Serby Jane. Landon Kilpatrick. Lily Klishevitz. Madeline Larch. Anthony Miko. Bonnie Misos. Madeline Moran. Mara Murphy. Riley Neal. Vin Nguyen. Catherine O'Horo. Emily Alexa. Heidi Partlow. Tara Pasvanis. Serena Ramahi. Fatima Rahman. Signe Renstrom. Ava Richard. Tuan Richards. Emily Rutledge. Andrew Schrembeck. Ali Schwendeman. Priya Shah. Katie Stamp. Marco Stiliana. Reneen Salebi. Aiden Sueble. Ryan Sweeter. Guy Tepsick. Emma Tokarski. Maria Torres. Ty Ventresco. Christine Zhang. It has taken us 1 year to do it, but let us please offer these young people a round of applause. I would like to offer my personal congratulations to all of these young people sitting in front of me and to you, the family and friends of these young people. NHS is truly an honor to be part of. To be here, you had to excel in seeking all 4 pillars of NHS: scholarship, character, service, and leadership. It is a very difficult selection process for Faculty Council. However, the most difficult part is in front of all of you now, because comes with this recognition comes great responsibility for each of you, because you have been officially identified as men and women of outstanding leadership and character. With that identification, I hope comes the realization that others will be watching you. And it is much more than merely avoiding the common pitfalls of high school. You have to do what others are hesitant to do. Our society is starving for leaders. Our society needs the example of young people who are willing to step up, to take initiative, and to do what's right, even when doing what's right makes you alone and makes you struggle. I challenge each of you to exhibit and to always seek scholarship, service, character, and leadership at all times. In the classroom, during school events, certainly at home, and in our community. You have been called to be role models for all the students who walk the halls of Boardman High School. When the chapter of your life's book that is entitled Boardman High School comes to a conclusion, and you walk with pride across that stadium field to receive your well-deserved diploma, our hope is that you will take these skills that you have learned and that you will apply them into the next chapter of your life, whatever its title may be. Once again, congratulations. I would like to thank the many people who helped to create this program. It truly was a labor of love, especially to the faculty committee and the faculty council for the time that they spent reviewing the many applications and the many individuals behind the scenes who made this happen. Mr. Richard Steltz, Aaron Miller, Rick Hungerford, Chris Clonez, and his BSTN crew. And finally, I would like to thank Mrs. Mary Beth Schobel, the advisor for the Boardman High School chapter of the National Honor Society for the last 23 years. At this time, I would like to invite Mary Beth Schobel to come forward.
Last year, this honor was bestowed upon you by the faculty of Boardman High School. You were identified as Spartan Elite based upon your demonstration of the qualities that have been mentioned many times this evening. The year took a hard turn in March, and we missed an opportunity to acknowledge your excellence. I really hope that this ceremony communicates to you the pride that we feel. We managed this year to complete a few service opportunities, fewer than usual, but some nonetheless. We had a food drive for our own middle school pantry. We worked closely with Making Kids Count on a number of projects, including making blankets for the backpacks that social services provide when removing children from their living situation. We worked with the Beatitude House on their monthly targeted contribution project. This last month it was Tide Pods. As always, the members of the National Honor Society rose to the challenge. They do so because the work needs done, not to garner any recognition. I am proud of you. The challenge, my friends, is to take this spirit into the future, identify need, and meet it, without thought to your own advancement. When you do that, you will be challenging the same qualities for which we recognized you back in the pandemic year of 2020. Thank you to the parents for the opportunity of working with such illustrious young minds. Good luck to you all. I'd like to recognize a few people. I'd like to thank the faculty who were so gracious about giving up their time to conduct this ceremony for you. Ms. Ann Bott, Mr. Morris Jadu, Mrs. Amanda Monsoor, Mrs. Lisa Anzavino, Mrs. Randy Nord, Mr. Richard Seipert, and Mr. Kyle Sheehan. I would also like to thank the orchestra who did a wonderful job. And at this time, I'd like to ask the officers for this year to stand up. We have our president. I'm looking for my list here. We have our president, Isabel Dwyer. We have our vice president, Bonnie Misos. We have our secretary, Signa Renstrom, and our treasurer, Renine Salibi. Thank you again. And good luck to you as you go out into the world and carry on the traditions we started here. At the conclusion of the ceremony, please make sure you get the cookie that we have prepared for you in the back. Thank you.
I remind you, before the ceremony officially concludes, that you now represent the high qualities of this society. Let no one have cause to say that you have failed your pledge or that you have lowered the standards which you have earned your recommendations to this society. At this time, I invite Tara Pasvanis and Vin Nguyen to the table.
The goal is the
Yeah, they were great, weren't they?